So the EPA on Monday finalized its Renewable Fuel Standards. What is that going to mean for you and your company, the levels that they set?
Well, it's a better improvement than the draft that was originally proposed in 2013. It gives us an opportunity to produce 200 more million gallons as an industry, which in turn for our facility means hopefully an opportunity to run above 50% capacity for 2016.
But still not what the industry was hoping for?
No, the industry was expecting to have somewhere above 2 billion gallons based on the feedstocks and the information we had submitted to EPA. I believe they had over 30,000 comments sent to them to justify the higher numbers, plus the regulation itself calls for higher numbers from the Renewable Fuel Standard.
So this year, expecting again to run at half capacity. What's kind of the outlook for this coming year?
The coming year, I would say probably more of the same, but maybe an opportunity to be a little above 50% capacity. If the RVO numbers are what they are right now, that's basically the industry as a whole running at 50% of its capacity.
Wow. So what does that mean for your employees, your business, your operations here?
Well, if you're not running at near full capacity, it's tough to be in the black, so to speak, profit-wise. And for our associates and workers here, they don't want the downtime. They want to be running. Like you said, idle hands and time, it starts them to question, is it a viable industry and what's going on?
Okay. So are you expecting then that this will be the second year that you're not profitable?
Well, no, I'm hoping that we can manage to find contracts so at least get us close to being profitable. At the end of the year, if the extenders tax credit comes back based on the tax breaks as an industry, then we might be close to breaking even. And so, but no guarantees of that. That would be like going to Vegas or Atlantic City and betting down on something, and you don't run a business that way.
Right. And you had mentioned one of the factors contributing to being at less than full capacity has to do with imports from other countries.
Correct. One of the things the RVO did not address was the 700 million gallons of foreign biodiesel making its way to our shores. So if you were to displace that 700 million gallons, there's no doubt that our facility would be running at full capacity, and most of the industry as a whole would be running at least 3/4 of capacity. So imports do affect us.
And then lastly, could you kind of talk about the impact that this has maybe more broadly, outside of maybe just Western Dubuque biodiesel?
Specifically with the RVO or imports?
With the RVO.
Well, the RVO, not just Western Dubuque, but for the state of Iowa, 1/3 of our GDP is ag-related, so there's a very symbiotic relationship between the biofuels sector and ag. If the biofuels industry is struggling on those numbers, it flows down to the ag sector. You've already seen this past year John Deere's layoffs, ancillary businesses, they don't have money for their buying a new pickup truck in the local area, so it affects sales. People eating at restaurants if they're not sure about their job certainty, and then their layoffs, so it affects a typical facility here. Even though we may only have 24 people on payroll, we affect about 100 jobs. And so that's truck drivers that may not be full-time employed that are bringing stuff into us, chemical purveyors, and they translate to the KCs, to the local restaurants and the shopping. So it affects the rural community as a whole.